Hello, this is Tim Campbell with TBC Action Coach of Indiana with our Business Spotlight series. The purpose is to interview local business owners and promote them through our social channels and email database, as well as provide them coaching. This is a free service that we're offering because when every small business is strong, then the economy is strong. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Thano. Thano, welcome to the program. Great to have you on today.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So let's start off with having you introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your background.
Yeah, so my name is Thano Genos. I am originally from Greece. So I was born in Greece, but raised here in the state of Indiana. I joined the Marine Corps right after 9/11 and served in a couple different roles throughout the United States, traveled overseas into the Middle East. And then about 15 years later, made my route back up to Indianapolis here and have settled down. And I am married with a 14-month-old daughter and now call Carmel, Indiana, my home.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you.
So now let's go to I have a little fun with this. I ask folks to give their 60-second commercial for their business. So if you had 60 seconds commercial, what would that be?
So when people are looking for a partner when it comes to home buying or home selling, it's important not to just get a broker who is going to walk through the process, get you to the home sale or home purchase, and then just that's it. In today's world, we have to be much more personal. We have to treat people as if they're family, close friends, and see them not just through the transaction, but all the way through the lifetime of the home ownership process. Home ownership doesn't stop when you buy a house or sell a house. It's just getting started. And myself, I've teamed up with, credible lenders, home inspectors, title companies, contractors that I keep my circle small. And thus I trust the people I work with and provide my clients when I'm either helping buy or sell a home with this close circle of, industry experts who can provide just as much of a personal touch when it comes to the process, because buying or selling a home, mainly buying, is one of the biggest investments you're going to make in your entire life. So why would you take it willy-nilly? You need trusted people in your circle to make sure that you're doing the right thing and not making a wrong decision.
Wonderful. I love that approach and that philosophy. So how long have you been in the industry?
So last year, mid-pandemic, I said, you know what? I've had this entrepreneurial itch to get back into business ownership. My wife was like, wait, what? And so I said, you know what? I've got some friends in real estate. I grew up in the construction industry with my father, who was in it for 40 years and made me work odd jobs here and there. So I'm like, you know what? This makes sense. I know I'm good at sales. I'm good at working with people. I've already got a decent network here in the central Indiana area. Let's take a chance. Yeah. And it was the best chance we've ever taken. I love what I do, even though I've only been in the business for about a year now. It's something that I can't think of what life would be if I hadn't made this decision. So been about a year now, going strong and loving the craziness of the real estate market right now.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. In a couple of questions here, I'm going to dig in a little more and ask you about the pandemic. But first of all, who do you serve? Who's your best client, what we call a target audience?
Yeah, so my target audience is somebody that's located, I'm based here in Carmel, Hamilton County area, but I work all over what we call the donut counties, all around 465. We've got offices here in Carmel. We've got an office down on the south side, just in between Indianapolis and Greenwood. And then we've also got an office all the way down in Columbus. So ideally for me, my foothold is going to be kind of the 465 area, all the counties around there, because I can easily access those and work with clients all throughout those areas. And my experts, my close-knit team of people all travel within that area. So that's where I try and stay. We've got a network of people all throughout the state when it comes to real estate agents and brokers. So, we can refer business out, but my ideal business and client is here in central Indiana, in those donut counties, specifically Hamilton, Marion County. I do quite a bit of work downtown with investors. So I would say those are probably the two areas that are probably my best clients.
Okay. Fantastic. You mentioned earlier that usually I ask the question of what's the impact that COVID has had on your business, but you started during COVID. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So not knowing, I came from the healthcare world. So I knew all too well what was happening, what was going on, all the precautions that needed to be taken to maintain proper hygiene, proper health, safety, all of those things we were learning in the healthcare world as this pandemic was unfolding. So making the transition into real estate, that gave me a kind of a heads up, like, okay, I know I need to make sure I take these steps, always have all the proper hygiene materials with me in my car. When I'm going to show a house, I do a lot of virtual showing. So I take my iPhone and I go in to the homes. I do Zoom calls, I do FaceTimes, I do recordings to get to my clients ahead of time to make sure there's the least amount of exposure to people that own the homes and to my clients that want to go in and check out new homes to potentially purchase. So knowing the risk mitigation that needed to happen to make sure that we kept all of our Hoosiers safe and healthy, learning that from the healthcare industry, I took that into my business. And a lot of people were like, oh wow, that makes a lot of sense, to let's screen these homes first before. And as a trained professional, I can identify, okay, yes, this is one you should come see, or no, you know what, let's go on to the next one, this doesn't necessarily fit your criteria. So knowing that we had to do our part to be all in this together, kind of like the governor had talked about early on, was I knew that I needed to do my part. And knowing that it's hard to view a home without being in it, um, it's a big challenge, but we've been able to overcome that with a lot of great tools, technology. Just as we're talking here today, it's the technology has, it's been amazing. It's been challenging in the initial steps to really figure out how to use it. But all in all, I think we're getting back to a new normal when it comes to using the technology to get into homes. And again, keep people safe, masks, gloves, the little booties on your feet. There's a lot of people have different requirements to get into homes. So it's just knowing what's going to work best. And I think we've been able to adapt and overcome these trials that we've faced within our industry.
That's wonderful. So for you didn't have to pivot as much as this was just the way that you entered the industry, and you brought in those best practices from your past experience, and that's just the way that you operated from the beginning.
That's correct. Yeah, it was a blessing in disguise to have that background in healthcare coming into opening up my own business and knowing what I needed to do to be successful.
Oh, congratulations on that. So here's an interesting question. It's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So what's a mistake that you've made along the way that you'd be willing to share to help other entrepreneurs learn from your experience?
Paperwork. In this industry, there is so much paperwork. Um, I putting together my first contract, I'm not afraid to admit that I missed a couple boxes that needed to be checked. And, I sent it to my mentor and, other agents and brokers and say, hey, did I miss anything? What do you, and they're like, oh, here you go. You need to do this. Um, and being humble enough to say, you know what, I don't know what I don't know. And, you need those people to help guide you. And kind of like what you said, people have made this mistake before lots of times. And, if you don't go to those people and say, hey, I'm new, obviously I'm within a couple months of, just starting, and I'm writing a contract, I'm nervous, because this is somebody's huge life investment. So thankfully, one of my first clients was one of my good friends, and I sent him an email back saying, hey, hold off, don't sign that. I missed a couple things. I'll resend it to you. So thankfully, again, working with a friend, it made it a little bit easier to learn. And I was very upfront with them saying, hey, listen, you are my first client. So, it was very open and honest. It was a learning experience for both of us. But knowing that you're human and you're going to make mistakes, I think is probably the biggest lesson that I took away from that. Not to be my own worst critic and not to say, oh, you're terrible, you're not going to succeed at this if you're missing this stuff already. So I think just having that open conversation with other experts in my industry who've been around the block a few times, to give me the right guidance and say, hey, here's some templates, let's use these to start. which helped greatly.
Well, good for you for not only seeking the advice, but getting a deal right away within 2 months. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
It was a nice kickstart to my new career.
Second last question here. We'll get your contact information and make sure we include that along with this video in the different areas that we're posting this. But is there anything else that you'd want to make sure that we covered today that we haven't, or do you have any types of offers, or what's the best way for people to find out if you're the right fit for them?
Yeah, so I would say everybody knows that, I mean, it's all over. It's a crazy market right now. There's not a lot of inventory. Prices are much higher than they have been in the past couple of years because of that, supply and demand. We all know that when the supply is low, the demand's high, the price goes higher. So having a team of experts when it comes to knowing what to offer, how to offer, or what to list your home for properly, and all the steps to take beforehand, that's where it makes it tough in this industry. So having, like I said before, having a team of experts on your side is what I provide. Again, there's a lot of us in this market. I think there's well over 8,000 brokers within central Indiana. And it's more than the market can bear. That said, you have your pick of the litter. So again, I think it's connecting with people. I know that I'm not going to be the right fit for everybody, and everybody's not going to be the right fit for me. And my approach is I like to do whether it's a face-to-face or a Zoom call, and let's chat first. Let's talk. I want to learn about who you are. That's how I kind of figure out if it's going to be the right fit for me to move forward or for you to move forward with me. So that's where I like to start everything, just like we are having a conversation, say, okay, is this something that I can help you with? And if not, I'll refer you over to somebody who can. Because again, me being new, I'm very advantageous in my business, and it's growing very quickly. So I'm actually in the process of looking to actually bring on 1 or 2 more agents onto my team, just because of my past marketing experience and lead generation. All that said, I look to work with only a handful of people when it comes to growing a business, because if you spend too much time with too many people, you're not going to provide the right service to people that they want. So that's the kind of person I am. That's who, you'll get. My most recent client said, I feel like you're part of the family. And granted, I was helping both a young married couple and their parents buy homes here in Indianapolis, both moving from out of state. So that's the kind of working relationship that I want to have with my clients. And I hope that my clients would want to have with me.
Wonderful. And congratulations on your growth. That's so exciting. So last question here. Tell me, what's been most inspiring to you during all of the craziness of the past year?
I would say this is a tough one for me because there's been so many things happen in the past year. I would say the opportunity to, one, provide for my family. I named my personal brand after my daughter. So I'd say that is probably one of the most inspiring things, is having a newborn, naming my business brand after her, so that when I look at my brand on a daily basis, I know what I'm working for, my family and my clients. So to me, that's probably the most inspiring thing on a daily basis, is to get up, go to my computer, see my daughter's name and say, all right, let's get to work.
That is awesome. So what's your brand name then?
My brand name is Blue Realty. It's BLU, different than the normal color. Hence the colors I'm wearing today. I had to wear the brand's colors. Yeah, Blue Realty. We're brokered by Realty One Group here in Central Indiana. But it's something that I always believed in, that my father had a family-owned business with his name, and I figured we're Greek. Business ownership is in our blood. Keep the businesses named after the family. So.
Fantastic. And what's your daughter's name?
Her name is Lena.
Okay, wonderful. So awesome. Thank you so much. That does conclude our interview. For those listening, if you've heard something that's piqued your interest, if you are in the market for buying or selling, please reach out to Thano, take advantage of that opportunity. As he mentioned, right now it's a seller's market. So a great time to put your house up for sale. Take advantage of the higher prices, the higher demand right now. If you are looking to buy, right, you do want to make sure that you find the right person that's going to cater to your needs, who's going to put you first and before the purchase. And what we just heard today certainly reinforces that that's Thano's approach. So please reach out to him. We'll include his contact information in this. Thano, it's been a pleasure learning about you and your business today, and I wish you tremendous success.
Thank you. Thanks again for having me.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.